Hi, my name is Christopher Murillo, and this is my Wwise demo. In this demonstration, I will be going over my Wwise sound design process using Audiokinetics Cube. If you would like to see the entire level on its own without any commentary, the link is in the description below. Before I even started working, I took some time playing the game and getting a feel for the type of sound I wanted to portray within the game itself. Cube is a fun little shooter with visual notes that hark back to the old Unreal or Quake days. As these were the games that I grew up with playing as a kid, I decided that this was the audio palette I would take inspiration from. I first began with a capture session, capturing the entire level that I wanted to use for my demo. Satisfied with that session, I then translated the data that was recorded into a spreadsheet so I can get a bigger picture of what sounds I needed to create solely for that level. I first tackled the player's weapon sounds, using multiple layers from various libraries as well as my own personal recordings to build complex sci-fi inspired weapon sounds that gives a general nod to the old school shooters while still sounding modern and unique overall, including compressing some weapon foley sounds with saturation to get that old school crunch when the player is cocking his weapon. For each weapon, I layered various elements, including LFE, mechanical, and mid-range reflection layers, just to get that overall punch and presence I was going for. I also added some synth or mechanical elements to weapons to give them a sci-fi feel. For example, the player's sniper rifle has some bullet ricochet sounds along with some flanger post-processing and synth drop sounds to keep it from sounding, well, too grounded in reality. The most unique out of all of them being the rocket launcher, which actually used a combination of model rocket noises, a forklift, as well as a couple package belt sounds from a local UPS facility where I went and recorded some of the actual mechanical and servo sounds in the entire facility. This ends up making the weapon actually quite fun to use, as the brought in elements kind of give the impression that the weapon is reloading new rockets every time it's fired, which goes in hand with the animations that the weapon actually came with. For the monsters, I created a write-up of the creatures that appear in the level. I also gave them personalities as well as some example lines for me to follow with while I'm recording the lines for each of the monsters.
I shall kill you.
I recorded all the vocal lines for each monster and processed them all separately. The most notable being the Rhino robot, which used a combination of vocoders, weapon foley, recorded camera servos, and even my car's own hydraulic hatchback to get some interesting and quite unique vocalization. For other monsters, I use other combinations such as pitch shifting and format filtering, so I can get more lower pitched voices, for example for the ogre to get him to sound a little bit oafish, and higher pitches for the goblin where he sounds a little bit skittish.
Puny human, I kill you. Human.
Bad guy! Oh, who are you?
I actually opted out of using animal sounds exclusively for the monsters, the only exception being the Slith Sniper. Another example would be the Ball Demon, which used pitch layering and formant filters along with some granulation to get some demonic vocal effects. Finally, the last pieces of the puzzle actually came down to the level and the UI elements. After some editing to the level to set up the reverb and ambience profiles, along with the relevant RTPCs, I realized the game could do with some story to help drive the player forward. I enlisted the help of professional voice actress Sarah Brown to act out some lines I wrote up in a script. This was to help push the game's narrative as well as give the player feedback and updates as he moves along through the mission.
This is TechSpec 391. Data indication located Alliance MIR light machine gun. A relic of the Nova Rebellion. We would very much like to examine that weapon back at the labs. Please take great care in not using or damaging the weapon so bad.
Oops, looks like the connection was lost. I'm sure it was nothing important.
For the pickup items scattered throughout the map, such as the medical pack, I used the combination of a slowed down heartbeat sound and an EKG. This should help give the player an idea what exactly they picked up. Obviously the visuals are there, but the sound is nice to know that, hey, I just got some health. For the quad damage pickup, I used a physical modeling effect within my DAW to get quite an aggressive and low-pitched tone. I also edited the play action so that way it would create a looping tone that would also end the moment the actual quad damage ended. For armor pickups, I use the sound of scraping swords and LFE base hits to add impact and weight, which also denotes which type of armor the player is using. For example, the lighter armor is a little bit more hollow in tone, just to give the player a sense that, hey, I got armor. It's not a whole lot of it, but it's armor. And then the 150 point yellow armor has quite a heavy, moving, slower impact sound to really give the player a sense that, hey, I got armor. For other UI elements, I use various synth sounds to denote when a player is entering a new area or has activated a switch. When the player's health gets low, a subtle heartbeat sound is slowly mixed in via an RTPC that monitors the player's health and gets progressively louder as the player takes more damage. Also included is a voice-acted audio cue that lets the player know that they are hurt pretty bad. And lastly, I replaced the computer voice, the one that plays every time the player hits a switch in the level.
System access granted.
This concludes my Wwise presentation. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have further questions, please feel free to email me here. Take care and have a great day.